So, how is everyone? I'd like to first of all thank everyone who joined the live last night. There was a lot to take in, wasn't there? A lot to take in. And this video is just going to be sort of a quick overview of last night. But in addition to that, just touch on what has been happening in the community since this information has come out. And, you know, as with everything, there's two sides, isn't there? And you'll have the camp that are like, look, I knew this was the case, we knew something was sketchy, and we've got to now get to the bottom of it. And there'll be the other side, which were the steadfast, this is an accident, this is not some form of conspiracy, look, leave it alone. And I kind of challenge the accident people now. And I'll say to you, look, with regards to Nick, now what we must say at this stage is that there is no 100% proof that the person who Squirrel Girl spoke to was indeed Nick, the tow truck driver. That is the only thing at this stage that would kind of say that what is being said at the moment holds not 100% credibility, because we don't know if it was indeed him. And all we can go on, and this is no, by the way, disrespect for Squirrel Girl at all. What I'm trying to do is be absolutely fair, and that is by saying, look, at present, me personally, I am not in a position where I can 100% say this is Nick, because I didn't see Nick myself. I never had a conversation with him. But it's concerning and it's alarming. And what I want people to sort of answer is, what if it is him? What if this is Nick? Now, I saw Michelle After Dark, Michelle Walks, Michelle with Dogs, Michelle walking dogs at night. And, you know, she made a valid point that, you know, that we don't know whether this guy is real. With this at the moment, it could be put in the realms of hearsay again. But it holds some weight. She'd referenced the fact that there were some inconsistencies between what Nick had said and what Jared had said regarding the fact that there was originally a positive identification on the male and not the female. But could that have just been a mistake on Jared's part? And was it in fact always a positive identification on the female and not the male? It's quite an easy mistake to make. And look, so we can question everything, but I think the biggest question at this stage should be, is this really Nick who has come forward? Because if it is Nick, then again, this is very, very concerning. Now, it was said, and Michelle After Dark had said it, and some other people have said it, look, what Nick is saying cannot be true, because we saw a car go in the water, and there was only one car in the water. But that doesn't mean that a vehicle wasn't put in the water earlier. It doesn't mean that something else happened. It doesn't mean that that vehicle went into the water and then Kiely was transported to another vehicle. It doesn't. Things happen. I know it sounds far-fetched, and people will say conspiracy theory, but again, I must stress, what if this is Nick? And what if he is a genuine and honest person who is saying that he saw Kiely? Now, nobody else has come forward. Nobody else is out in the realms of the platform saying it was me who he saw. Or are we saying this is just some plant from Adventures with Purpose? Now, that's quite a fucking brazen plan, isn't it? What, Adventures with Purpose managed to find someone who would pretend to see Kiely, come into an active investigation and claim to see them, go on video saying it, and that is, you've got, what? That's what we're saying. That's where we've got to drop to in order to try and support a purely accident narrative. To say that Adventures with Purpose hired somebody to step in and pretend that they saw Kiely on the Saturday, when at first Nick he weren't 100% sure of the day, and it was his partner who's come forward and said, no, it was definitely the Saturday. So we're seeing a consistency in the story. Yes, a mistake between who was the positive identification, but again, that can be easily explained. Something don't sit right, guys. Something don't sit right. And when you look at everything, when you look at the entire story, you have to say to yourself, does the whole thing make sense? Does the fact that these people went to this party, that Mags went to the party with Kiely and then very, very quickly left Kiely there on her own with Sammy. The fact that, Sammy has said that she spoke to Kiely at 12:36 when that couldn't have happened. The fact that Kiely was cremated so quickly after being found. The autopsy and the inconsistencies in her height. The weights and, the car, the car itself, this confusion over the sunroof. Does it have one? Does it not have one? The fact that Kylie's friends didn't know whether she had an Apple Watch, but they could tell you what sticker she had on the boot of a car to point out, look, it's definitely her car. Her car has got a sticker on the back. That's how you will know it's hers. All these weird little details that have been given. The fact that they tried to pull people away from this area to say that she had been abducted. The Boca connection. The fact that when Kiely was found and Adventures with Purpose had said, had found Kiely, Sammy had straight away said, no, they haven't found her. And she was quite adamant that they hadn't found her. And why is that? And people forget about these little things. The fire cam footage, the timing of the fire cam footage, the fact that it came out literally hours before the autopsy and toxicology report came out. So there was this big melting pot of information that had been thrown into the mix altogether. And this seemingly showed this vehicle going into this body of water. And, it's you think to yourself, why wasn't this footage seen or known about a long time ago? Why is it still open? Why is the case still open after all this time? When I've got me personally, I've gone to law enforcement. You've seen it. If you haven't seen it, I've got another video where I showed law enforcement telling me that the case was still active, and that's why they're not answering questions. And there's two caveats to that, isn't there? There's either it is open, there is still something going on, or they're keeping it open to avoid having to answer questions about it. And if that's the case, why is it the case? This case doesn't make sense. From start to finish, it doesn't make sense. Kylie's mum's reaction. Could you imagine if this was your child? You weren't there when she went missing. You're being told by a bunch of rich kids what happened, but then someone comes along and says, hold on a second, I saw your child alive on the Saturday. What would you do? Would you want to speak to this person? Would you be reaching out to them immediately? Why is the family not interested in this? Why is the family not interested? Unless they are 100% sure about something else. And even if Kiely is deceased and they know that, and but they don't know how it happened. And maybe this person holds a clue to that. Why would they not be interested? Nick had said that he was waiting for them to contact him, and they were the only people who he would have answered the phone and had a conversation with. And it's subsequently been said that they are now looking to put Nick in contact with Kylie's family so he can have a conversation. But why are they not seemingly interested? Who knows? And this could completely unravel over the next few days. There are people who are still steadfast in the fact that this is an accident and this person is either a fucking nutcase or he was a plant by someone. But I just asked the question, why? Why would somebody do this? What is the benefit to them? And what is the risk if they get caught? It sounds credible. I know it sounds mad at the same time, but I just can't work out why he would lie and why an organisation like Adventures with Purpose at the time would have hired somebody to lie about seeing Kiely. Really? Seems a very elaborate prank. A very elaborate prank. And I can't see him doing it. I can't see him doing it. Obviously, the stuff has come out about Adventures with Purpose now. More so Jared. And, you know, I'm going to do a video later on today, just touching on that briefly and put that to bed. But there's questions here, guys, and we need to get all of the answers, and we don't have them. Kiely deserves it. Kiely deserves to have us be 100% sure. 100%. So if there's a shred of doubt in anything, or you can look at anything and think, okay, that doesn't look right, that doesn't sound right, okay, this doesn't sit 100%, then dig, and let's do what this community can do very, very well, and put this case to bed. I'll catch you all in the next one.